Is it time to accept that enough is enough and we need to be offloading this altcoin? Oh man, so Solana experiences another outage in what has now been a horrific 18 months for Solana, leading to many major outages on their layer 1 blockchain. Of course, they suffered from the FTX collapse. They are 92% at least from all-time highs, and this is further added to the pain and the trolling going on in the Solana community. As you guys know, I hold some Solana. I was buying Solana a very long time ago at a very low cost base, and I still have held some. In this video, we're going to break down whether I'm going to continue to hold, whether it's now time to sell. But if you take a look here, Solana network stumbles, on-chain trading slows after forking incidents. Let's take a look at what happened. So the blockchain started forking, which is when you create conflicting versions, at around 1 a.m. New York time. Shortly after that, the validators began increasing their RAM while the chain's transaction throughput fell off a cliff. Okay, so those tech troubles combined to effectively freeze nearly all on-chain activity. So they went to 93 transactions per second, well below the normal 5,000 transactions per second they were doing 15 minutes prior to the downturn. Engineers suspected a bug in the new version of Solana code that came online just hours before. So they did this update, and then hours later, they see a bit of a bug. But nobody knew what this bug was. They couldn't get to the bottom of it. A bunch of validators got together and they began downgrading to the previous version, which is like a rollback, in hopes of reviving Solana's throughput. It didn't work. That was then followed later on by the Solana employees actually advocating for this downgrade as well. Now, it didn't do much to improve the situation. They were still struggling, and then they switched to thinking about a drastic solution, which obviously turns the chain off, which is restarting the chain back to a previous moment in time. But the drama didn't end there. No, it didn't, because what happened was they had to go and do a second restart. So what happened was they decided on a restart, but then they abandoned it when the validators realized that they picked the wrong point at which to restart. Can you imagine, guys? So they said the problem started as sluggish transactions processing have spiraled into a near complete shutdown of activity on Solana, validators and developers told CoinDesk. Okay, so this is important. Their on-chain crypto assets are unmovable. This is users right now of the Solana network. Your on-chain assets are unmovable, frozen in place until critical backend infrastructure comes online. This is like a major outage. I'm going to come on to that shortly. One leading theory was that a fat block gunked up the blockchain's metrics, right? So they're saying like a big transaction has gone and clogged it all up. So someone put in a really complicated, big, heavy, bloated transaction, and that's clogged up the mechanics. That's not a good enough reason. At time of press of this article, 70% of the total stake was behind the restart, but they need 80% for a super majority. Take a look at this graphic, which was reported on by a number of the publications, which shares the transactions per second on the Solana network over the last 6 hours when they took this screenshot. Now, what you need to notice is that a lot of people think and have understood that Solana do a lot of throughput. There's a lot of transactions going on. You need to understand one thing. They handle their consensus on chain. So Solana handles its consensus on chain. Any nodes between those deriving consensus is done on chain, whereas normally you would see that living off chain. This bluey, light blue, teal colored line here are not actual transactions where people want to transaction on the network. This is part of the consensus mechanism and the nodes between them. It's really this purpley pink color you want to be looking at, which is the proper transactions per second, which is comparable to other layer 1 blockchains where the consensus resides off the chain. Now, here's the major problem. If you have an issue with downtime, like you saw here with Solana, well, guess what? The validators have no way to communicate. The node operators cannot communicate. So guess where they go to on Solana? They do it on Discord. Yeah, all of this has been coordinated on Discord to say, this is where we're going to restart, this is where we're going to vote, because they don't have their blockchain. The blockchain is down. Would you let somebody off? Would you let a blockchain off when this has happened? Would this lead to us needing to now panic and get out? You don't want to get stubborn with your conviction. Conviction is very important. We do not want to be paper handers. I understand. Who wants to be a paper hander? Nobody does. But paper handing is when you swing with the wind, right? Monday you wake up, you love a project, and Tuesday, just because, I don't know, interest rates have changed, you suddenly don't like a project. That's paper handing. That's moving with the wind. Changing conviction when there's fundamental change, and I've said this many times with Solana, my conviction got severely damaged. Not by FTX. No, not by FTX. That is the final nail in the casket. But by the plenty of downtime and fundamental mistakes, like I've said to you guys before, there's benefits to having blockchains which move fast and break things. Facebook is a great example of a company in the traditional space that were moving fast and breaking things. Zuckerberg made so many mistakes on his journey to building the company where it was today. And you can see how there's value in those projects. So I don't regret investing in Solana, absolutely not. It was growing fast, they were breaking things. It was very clear that they were not methodical. They were breaking things, they were putting things under the rug and hiding it under the carpet, right? Just to build and fast in this race to winning on transactions per second and reducing fees. But with blockchains, we know there's a trilemma. And to tackle the trilemma properly, you've got to do this slow, methodically, and take time. And that is where you saw they focus so much on speed and on throughput that you saw a lacking of decentralization and a lack of security as well being the main issue. Okay, now look at this. This is where you see that here they had a major outage and they've logged that as 18 hours here on their status page. Okay, 18 hours and 50 minutes. Now some are reporting this was downtime of over 24 hours, which is just not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. So there's one thing that it went down, but it's another thing that it took them 24 hours to spin this thing back up. Well, they're claiming 18, so let's use 18 because they've actually posted that. Let's round it up to 19 hours. Then you go back and go, oh, this is not fun. When did they last have an issue? What? October? Yep, October, 6 hours of outage. Go back again, September, another hour of outage. We're averaging, I mean, if you look, you're averaging every month. Let's go back again. And you go back into June, where you had some downtime for 4 hours. Go back another section. May again, some outage for 5 hours. Go back again, April, 2 hours almost there. And hell, look at that, January, guys. They had more downtime than up. What's going on here? 16 hours of partial outage on the 6th of January, 7th of January, another 10 hours, then another 8 hours there, followed by 1 hour, another 18 hours, 2 hours there, hour there of amber issues, red for 12 hours again, another 17 hours there in January 2022. So look, this you can see that they've been through this, and even back in September 2021, outage after outage, and these were the things that damaged my conviction. So I don't want anybody to say, oh, this is you moving with the wind. No, this is a fundamental change in what conviction levels are. When a project says they're going to deliver on something and they're not delivering on that thing, it's okay to change conviction. In fact, you need to be a good, sustainable investor. You've got to be able to move and pivot. You can't just sit there getting emotionally attached to this project because you love it. If you made a mistake, no problem. There's just, a lot of people are getting caught in this sunk cost fallacy where, oh, I've lost money now, I might as well sit on it. No, you have to look at the opportunity cost. Even if you started with 10 grand and it came down to $500 in Solana, and you're going, no, I might as well wait for that 500 to go back there one day. Well, you got to think, what's the opportunity cost of that 500 being in Solana? That opportunity cost is 500, which you could have put in the next project, which could be far better than Solana. So don't get caught up in the sunk cost fallacy. You got to focus on the opportunity cost and what that cash can do going forward. Now, in my particular case, okay, you look at Solana here sitting at $23, and I'm part of the problem. I'm going to explain why. Because one of the issues with Solana is, even if you think they can fix everything we just went through in terms of their downtime and the way they do their consensus on chain and all the other bits, if they can solve it and they can fix the blockchain trilemma, great stuff. Do you think they're going to get back to all-time high? You can argue, okay, maybe it can get back to all-time high. The volume of selling that's going to be happening, the downward pressure on this, anytime there's some meaningful pump on Solana, is going to be very, very hindering to the performance of Solana. Use me as an example. I was buying lower than the price right now. I'm slightly green on my Solana positions right now still. Can you imagine? Which is one of the reasons that I haven't needed to panic sell. But even then, I need to be asking myself, what's the opportunity cost of the funds I'm leaving in there? I could leave it somewhere else. Now, in this case, because you guys know I'm so diversified, it's not a crazy amount. I can leave it there and maybe look to see, does this go up to 30, 35 at some point? And you could look to cash out. But then a lot of people will be doing that. A lot of people have that same mindset. There are major VC funds with a lot more funds than me waiting for Solana to get some of its glory back. Maybe they've written off that it will never get back up to the 260s. But if there can be some sort of hype, some sort of momentum which could take it back up to these levels, then they will be looking to cash out. So the pumpability, and that's a made up word I made up, guys, is going to be difficult on this project. There will be people looking to escape on any meaningful pump. And that's going to be something you've got to factor into your investments, even if you think it's an undervalued chain, okay? So that's something you've got to take into account. And now the other upsetting thing for the Solana community was I was actually thinking this could have been a nice period for Solana. They had quite a bit of period after the FTX drama. They carried on doing their thing. You saw things like Aptos running in the heights of things, and you're looking, hang on, Aptos is not doing anything. At least Solana's doing something. Like, it's not a complete ghost chain. They're doing stuff. They could have benefited from some of that money moving in, but they've gone and shot themselves in the foot again with more downtime. Really frustrating for Solana. Hopefully they can sort that out. If you also take a look at the total value locked, they're now sitting at 260 million in total value locked. I mean, that is insane. And if you look at the breakdown, 144 of that, so over half of that, is sat in Marinade Finance. You got a bit in Lido, a bit in Orca. This ecosystem is just wrecked. I mean, this was really, you look at Solend here sitting at 23 million, Quarry 19, you look at Atrix 18. This is just completely getting wrecked. I mean, Saber down here at 10 million. You know, the peaks of Solana, these protocols. Well, I mean, you look at it here. You can look at the chart here. You're looking at 10 billion total value locked on Solana. So they've taken a real hit. The use cases are starting to fall. People don't have faith. And how can you have faith when you come over to the status and you see red after red on the chart, right? You see the periods that we saw there in January of 2022. Blockchain should not be going down every couple of months. It's just, it should be a rare occurrence that it goes down every couple of years. And that's my position on Solana. I'm not looking to currently sell just yet, only because I've got a crazy cost basis and it's really not bothering me. It's a small part of my portfolio. But if I was anywhere at these points where I was buying at any of these higher levels, I would seriously be looking at getting off this, looking for the next big project and moving on. Because for me, that is like a red flag for me. For you to mess up on those kind of fundamental things, that's very unforgiving. I mean, for example, we talk about Algorand and my frustrations with a project like Algorand. You can't even put that in the same league as the frustrations you would have with a project like Solana. When we talk about Algorand, you're annoyed at their marketing, or they could do more in terms of business development. And come on, guys, like, you're egging them on to do more. But with Solana, we're talking, these are like critical mistakes which you just cannot forgive. So let's jump onto the Bitcoin price. You can see here, Bitcoin trying to maneuver a bit of a green day here today, up 0.63%. The pre-market in the US is showing a little bit of green as well after a tough week last week. And you can see Bitcoin is trying to break out from this important trend here on the hourly. You can see nice decent volume coming in on this candle literally as we record. And the next visit will need to get back up to this 24,000 level and build some support. Build some support from there and go and mount your next attack at 25. It's showing some really good strength as Bitcoin around this 22,500 level, and is showing that it's trying on here on the daily to create that all-important higher low. Look where it's turning around so far. You saw this doji candle. If you don't know what doji candle is, how many times have I said Ijaz.uk/TA completely free technical analysis course? You would have spotted that doji candle, and that would have given you a clue that you're reversing. Just like you would have spotted it here, and then you got a big reversal. Okay, so if you're looking to trade, BYBIT, BitGet, links in the description. Take advantage of this. Nice higher highs here, now creating higher lows. This is good for Bitcoin, but it's not just that. Let me bring out the EMA ribbon. What do you see? We're getting two strong hourly candles off our daily EMA ribbon now, showing that we want to bounce. But, the work has just started. This now needs to go and create a higher high. We cannot come to our EMA ribbon and get rejected again from 25. It's just not going to be acceptable, guys. That will then form a double top pattern. If you follow the TA course, that will be a negative pattern. So you've done this, gone up here, come back down, gone back up here again, and then get rejected again. That's an M pattern or a double top pattern, which could then send us back down into these kinds of realms back at 22,000. So when we go up now to fight 25, we need to do so with conviction. We need to do so with strength and good volumes to clear it and get that higher high. Then we can keep our uptrend on Bitcoin and things are looking good on the daily chart. Also, let's bring out the Bollinger Band. Why not look at the Bollinger Band as well? And on the Bollinger Band, you can see exactly what's happened. Where are we seeing support right now, guys? On the middle of the Bollinger Band. Again, Ijaz.uk/TA will show you how to use Bollinger Bands. It's one of the professional techniques that a lot of serious traders use, and you can see it's come to the center line and shown some support. But remember, the center line isn't as strong as the bottom, but look how far the bottom is. It's sitting at 21,100. So we're seeing a lot of strength here from Bitcoin to be bouncing from the middle of the line. But watch out for the bears stepping back up here as the trading opens to see if they can try push to the lower levels here on the Bollinger Band. Let's take a look at this view as well, and you can see we're still in this huge ascending broadening wedge, which we actually entered into back on the 21st of January. Remember, this can still be a bullish continuation pattern, but you can see we're starting to spend some time in the middle here as the bulls and bears hit a bit of a stalemate. So the bulls will want to work back up and create its higher high like we've just discussed. The bears will want to send this back down to kind of try fight for that 21.5k level where we held some really really strong strength here around this level here. So that's going to be important here for the bulls and the bears on this time frame. Another way to visualize this on the daily chart is to look at this channel we're forming as well and see, can Bitcoin work its way, create its higher high at the top of the channel at around that 26k level? That is what you're looking for, which will give you a nice tasty return here. I mean, if you're looking at where we're at now, up towards the top of the channel, that could be a nice almost 9-10% spot move there to work its way. Of course, the bears are not going to want it, right? The bears are going to say, no, we need to create a lower high and we need to get you back down to the bottom around 22 and try to break down into this structure. The key for the bears is going to be this level here, right? The key for the bears is fighting around to get us past this level, because that's where we rose so quickly. Can you see how we rose so quickly and then consolidated? The bears will know once they can clear through this level, things will get easier for them. But guess what? The bulls also know something, and that's on the weekly time frame, which we've been covering off. If we can clear 25,000, we've got a huge gap to fill. This gap all is there available to fill, but that battle is going to continue this week. Again, let me remind you, the EMA ribbon is there. It's trying to act like resistance. The bears had a strong week last week, pushing us down 2%, but the week before that, we were up 11.5%. So can the bulls come back in, show a positive week, and work its way through 25,000. Literally right now, the whole battle is around this 25,000. Of course, there's a whole bunch of macroeconomic challenges as well in terms of what is the FOMC meeting going to entail at the next meeting. Right now, the market's still sitting there pricing in 25% chance of 50 base points. And the market's still here mainly expecting 75 base points. But still, we've got about a month to go before the next FOMC meeting. So that is likely to fluctuate with a lot of volatility heading into March. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash some likes. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, check out the links in the description. Let me know, what are you doing with your Solana position? Do you hold Solana? Did you hold Solana? Did you quit? Are you looking to exit? I want to know exactly your thoughts on Solana. Do not be shy. Share your thoughts with a sentence or two of reasoning of why, and I'll definitely be responding to those in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.